Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show. The first time he returned to the Chinese star system. Zian first went to the Earth Federal Bank on Yaoqi planet. Let's save the nano-cluster first. After depositing the nanostar cluster, the nanostar cluster will be displayed at the back of your account. And if you put this thing on your body, you will definitely not feel at ease. Secondly, after the nanocluster is deposited in the bank, can be converted into cosmic coins at any time. In large amount transactions, direct transactions are also possible. In addition, when you need to use the nanocluster, you can also take it out from the bank. All in all, very convenient. Nanoclusters can be used for more than just space jump fuel. It is also an essential material for the evolution of high-end starships. It can also be used as ammunition for high-end weapons and as energy for high-end energy shields. In short, nanoclusters have a wide range of uses. The three girls also deposited their nanoclusters in the bank. After saving the nanostar cluster, he returned to the Chinese Academy of Sciences. Three girls. They drove their starship directly to the brilliant island. Let Zian help them evolve the starship. Zian's own brilliant account also immediately started the evolution work. Materials and stuff. I had already bought it on the way here. When I got home, everything had been delivered. Start evolving directly now. The return of the dazzling fleet. It didn't attract much attention. The main reason is that this matter is still under information blockade. But I think the information will be made public soon. Of course, it doesn't necessarily matter whether it is public or not. It mainly depends on what the people above think. What Zian is concerned about is this reward. As expected, when Zian started to evolve the brilliance from the second level to the third level frigate award, finally it was issued. Just when Zian was evolving, suddenly, detected wealth value exceeded 10 million points. New system function is activated. Congratulations to the host for getting an opportunity to replace system functions. Note 1, you can choose any original function to replace it. Note 2, or you can consume one ability to enhance a certain ability. Zian's eyes widened. His hands almost shook and he threw in an extra copy of the evolution materials. But what follows is excitement. He quickly looked towards the system. As expected, on the system panel, any function can be replaced. For example, 5 simulations. Such as the ability to bind a second starship. Such as the ability to jump in space. The last 2 are definitely irreplaceable. There are only 5 simulations that can be replaced. In 5 simulations. #. Evolutionary simulation. Star Wars simulation. Battle simulation. Maintenance simulation. Design simulation. In only maintenance simulation, Zian has basically never used it. Very simple. He felt that he had no use for this simulation. In fact, maintenance simulation is still very useful. Because the status and income of a starship maintainer are not low. But, as the saying goes, bite off more than you can chew. Zian is not planning to be a starship maintainer in the future. As for design simulation, he thinks it is quite useful. Because every time the starship level evolves, I'll require the use of design simulation. Personally design the new appearance of the brilliant number and so on. Even now, the Awu given to Hu Chichi evolved from a 10th level reconnaissance ship to a 1st level frigate. Just use the ability of design. So look around. Having only one maintenance simulation is of little use. Then a new problem came. Should I replace this ability or consume this ability to enhance a certain ability? In terms of replacement ability, it's random. Who knows what ability it will be replaced with? After careful consideration, Zian decided not to try this. So now a new problem comes again. If it is enhanced, Which ability is it used to enhance? Zian frowned and thought for a long time. He decides. Strength and space jumping ability. Evolution simulation and Star Wars simulation. These are the two abilities he uses the most. But these two abilities, at least for now. He thought it was enough. So Zian focused on space jumping. Now that you have made your decision, there is nothing to hesitate about. Immediately a thought came to my mind. Can I ask if the maintenance simulation ability is consumed to enhance the space jumping ability? Zian chose yes, without hesitation. Immediately afterwards, maintenance simulation. This line starts not a moment later. The ability to jump in space has been enhanced. Zian immediately looked towards the new space jumping ability. Space jump, enhanced version, free and unlimited jumps between two starships within 1,000,000 light-years, unlimited distances above 1,000,000 light-years, each jump consumes 1,000 wealth points. See an enhanced version of space jumping ability. Zian took a breath. This ability? Should be said or not. This is really awesome. Within 1,000,000 light-years, you can jump through space at will without consuming even 1 point of wealth. And over 1,000,000 light-years, no matter how far away it is, it only costs 10,000 wealth points. That is to say, even if we are in the inhuman race at this moment, one of the brilliant ships is in the human race. Then you only need to spend 10,000 wealth points. You can jump to the human race's brilliance at will. Outrageous. It's simply outrageous. It is said to be an enhanced version of space jumping ability. It might as well be said to be an enhanced version of survival rate. With this ability, as long as you guarantee a wealth value of 10,000 at any time, then you can almost say that you can't die. No one can kill you. Nyobi. So awesome. And at this time, Zian finally had time to see what rewards he had received. When I saw the wealth value column, I saw a total of 470,000 wealth values. Zian felt that it was a little difficult to breathe. Needless to say, the four forces each rewarded themselves 1 billion. School. It must be 100,000 points. The Earth Federation, the Soul Empire, and the Universe Human Federation each have 100 million universe coins. As for yes or no, Zian quickly raised the optical brain watch. Just when the system appeared, a prompt sounded on the optical brain watch. Pick it up and take a look. Sure enough, it was an external announcement issued by the school. Gu Qingzhan actually fulfilled his promise to himself. About the Shenzhou University, the Earth Federation, the Soul Empire, and the Universal Human Federation, the following announcements and rewards will be given to the new student Zian of our school for his outstanding contributions to the Earth Federation and the Universal Human Federation. Classmate Zian, a few days ago, destroyed the conspiracy of a certain human race, the Ghana tribe. Completely dismantled the evil intentions of the Ghana tribe and the inhuman race, and saved the Earth Federation from destruction. His contribution was particularly huge. Later, he accompanied his own personnel to invade the hinterland of the alien race and made outstanding contributions. Now, after discussions with the Earth Federation, the Soul Empire, and the Universal Human Federation, we have finally jointly awarded Zian the following rewards. 3 billion yuan in universe coins, 100,000 school points. Another note, starting today, our school has appointed Zian as the Dean of the Department of Evolution, through unanimous consent from the senior management. Note, while Zian is serving as the Dean, he is still a student of the school and enjoys the treatment that a student should have. Also, the Earth Federation has upgraded the original title of Brilliant Star to a new level and given Zian the title of Honorary General. Note, this title enjoys the same privileges as General of the Earth Federation Army. Another note, the Soul Empire presented Zian with the title of Brilliant Baron. Note, this Baron title enjoys all the rights of a Baron in the territory of the Soul Empire, and canonizes the hourglass star system of the Soul Empire as its Baron territory. Also, the Universal Human Federation presented Su Zian with the Peak Battle Qualification Certificate. Note 1, this qualification certificate is jointly issued by the 7 dominant forces of the Human Federation, the 12 superpowers, and the 108 top forces. Note 2, this qualification will be activated when you become a destroyer captain. A flurry of announcements. The 3 girls in the evolution factory were stunned. Su Zian himself. Also stunned. School awards. Not much. 100,000 points is scary, and then the status of Dean of the Evolution Department. It's just a little outrageous. B. The additional rewards from the Earth Federation, the Soul Empire, and the Universe Human Federation are a bit too awesome. Even Su Zian thinks. These additional rewards are the real rewards for yourself. Those monetary rewards. That's the added bonus. Because compared with these additional rewards. Monetary reward, what is it? If I have to use a metaphor. There is only one word to describe these rewards, dash. So scary, not to mention school rewards. A new student this year was appointed as the dean. It's definitely a first-of-its-kind experience. The rewards from the Earth Federation are even more outrageous. Maybe the Earth Federation itself doesn't know what reward it should give Su Zian. Because Su Zian's contribution this time is really too great. Give money directly? Given so much money, Su Zian has nowhere to use it now. Other? He can't use other treasures from heaven and earth. Therefore, give him the honorary title of Bright Star, with privileges equivalent to those of a federal general. And what are the benefits of this privilege? The advantages. For example, Su Zian discovered a group of large pirates or something. Su Zian directly mobilized the nearby federal troops. Even the captain of the deep space ship can be mobilized. Because the captains of deep space ships have lower ranks than him. This is the most awesome benefit. Secondly, after Su Zian participated in the border war, there are many, many more benefits. It's just that Su Zian still can't truly reflect these benefits. Only when I can actually use it will I realize how good this title is. What about the Soul Empire? Also simple. Directly coveting the status of a title. Although the Soul Empire and the Earth Federation belong to different countries. B. What does it matter? To put it simply, just compare the current Cosmic Human Federation to a country. So these forces in the Universal Human Federation. It is equivalent to counties, cities, and provinces. Su Zian is from a certain county. Couldn't he be the baron of such and such city? That doesn't exist. The greatest benefit of being a baron. That means you can enjoy privileges within the Soul Empire. As for specific privileges, that's actually it. 620 is just a star system directly rewarded. That's the most eye-catching thing. Su Zian deliberately searched for the hourglass star system as soon as possible. That star system is located within the Soul Empire. And it is still a star system inhabited by only a small population. Most of the planets are still undeveloped. Baron Su Zian. You can develop it yourself or attract investment. Let's put it that way. He is the biggest voice in this hourglass star system. You can do whatever you want in there. It's no problem to completely transform into your own private star system. Transform into a public star system to control trillions of people, collect taxes, etc. No problem. Of course. That can't be accomplished overnight. Now, Su Zian has not yet figured out how to use this hourglass star system. Should it be transformed into its own private star system or a commercial star system? Talk about it later. The distance between the two sides is too far. Su Zian has no idea yet. Maybe it will be after the brilliance reaches the destroyer or even cruiser level in the future. Only then will he consider this issue. Now, just let it develop freely there. Anyway, if people from outside want to settle in the hourglass star system, they must get permission from him, the Baron. The reward of the final Cosmic Human Federation. That's what Zian is most concerned about. Peak Battle Qualification Certificate. And only when you reach the level of Destroyer Captain can you activate this qualification certificate. Zian studied it carefully. Suddenly his eyes were filled with ecstasy. This qualification certificate. To be honest, it's actually an invitation to participate in the universe's strongest genius competition, BAE. As long as you get the corresponding ranking in this competition, you can join your corresponding force. Universe Technology Group. Mechanical Empire. For example, any controller force in 108 star Cs. In a nutshell, as long as you get a high ranking in this peak battle, that is equivalent to giving you a chance to take off completely. As a genius, he was specially trained by these superpowers. Then give it a heavy responsibility in the future. Even if you are strong enough, you are in the future. He can also control the power of a star C. So much so. Become one of the leaders of a certain overlord-level force. Let's put it that way. This qualification certificate. Absolutely, it is something extremely precious. So precious. Zian was so excited that he lost his temper at this moment. Unimaginable. Being fully cultivated by a dominant force like the Universe Technology Group, how fast will the growth rate be? Captain of the immortal ship, will be the most basic. Eternal life. They are all the most basic. Zian looked at the rewards for his contribution this time. I couldn't calm down for a long time. And there are 3 women next to him. Even after so long, I still feel dizzy. This reward. It's really a bit too scary. They know that Zian's contribution will be great this time and the rewards he will receive will be high. But I didn't expect it to be as high as this. And when they asked Zian what the peak battle qualification certificate was, each one's mouth is so round that it can hold a fist. Shocked. Zian seemed to remember something at this time, and immediately looked at the 3 women and asked, "Where are you? You should also get rewards, right?" This time, the Ghanaian conspiracy was destroyed and the wormhole was discovered. There is no doubt that Zian accounts for 99.999%. But the 3 women serve as members of the brilliant fleet. It is also possible to share a small amount of rewards. And even if it's just a small reward, it shouldn't be bad. Really, hearing Zian ask them, the 3 girls suddenly smiled brightly. Miao Xiaomi raised her little face proudly and hummed, "After all, we are also going to kill the aliens. And as a member of the fleet, of course we also have rewards. Hey, I got a reward of 5,000 points. And rewards of 50 million each from the Universal Human Federation, Soul Empire, and Earth Federation. Ha, I have evolved enough now." Hu Chi also had beautiful eyes shining. "Yes, me too." Taimei howled, "My frigate must also use the keel of the superstar Inhumans. I'm rich, I want to eat the treasures of heaven and earth as my food." Taimei raised her fists to the sky and howled. It looks very much like the picture of orcs will never be slaves in the 21st century. Zian also laughed. It seems these 3 can only be exploited by themselves for a while. Good. Very nice. Everyone is happy. After a pause, he suddenly raised the corner of his mouth, coughed slightly, and said seriously, "From now on, you should pay more attention to what you say, okay? Now, I have a different identity from you. I am not only your captain, but also your school leader. By the way, now the first thing I order you to do. Quit your original Star Wars system immediately and join our Evolver system." The expressions of the 3 women suddenly froze. Everyone immediately looked at Zian stupidly. Zian frowned. "What? I, the dean, can't speak well, am I? Speed, immediately. Now that I have become the dean of this evolution division department, then the evolution master system must be carried forward in my hands. Our evolution division should not only be number 1 in the evolution division, but also be number 3 in Star Wars and individual wars. It has completely become the best department among all the departments in China University. Otherwise it will appear that I am a great dean. Go quickly. The 3 women were stunned. They looked at each other with extremely strange expressions. Hu Chi-Chi scratched her pink, long and fluffy fox tail, and said tangledly, But we won't evolve at all? Zian waved his hand, I don't care. If you join the evolutionary department, then you can be a thug for our evolutionary department. I have no other requests. After you join the evolution division, you will immediately take down the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th places on the freshman list. I want the evolution division to dominate the freshman rankings. The 3 women were speechless, however, although all belong to the same college. It doesn't matter if you join the evolution division. But isn't Zian's behavior a bit evil? After all, no matter which department is first, the resources allocated by the school are the same anyway. But seeing that Zian said it so firmly, and his expression showed that you don't want to listen, I will keep repeating it until you do. Looking at each other, they all began to operate helplessly. I chose to quit the Star Wars series directly on the optical brain watch, and then applied to join the Evolver series. Zian immediately beamed and agreed immediately. TSK, bad taste? Do you really think he has a bad taste? All right. Really good at judging people. And I am the man who will be the principal in the future. You have to have results that you can achieve, right? For example, we will lead this year's Department of Evolution to become the most powerful department in the school. Who can say that they can't be the principal? Just ask him if Gu Qingzhan can do it. If I can't do it, then why should I be the principal? Who stipulated that the Chinese Academy of Sciences can only have one principal? Shenzhou University has an inner courtyard and an outer courtyard. Wouldn't it be great if you and Gu Qingzhan were responsible for each other? What? There was no dual principal model before? Then it's me, Zian, who didn't come. I have to come early. China University has already launched the dual principal model. And at the same time, all the teachers and students in the school also read the school announcement. One counts as one. Everyone was so dumbfounded. I suspect that there is something wrong with not only my eyes. There is even something wrong with my brain, the whole school. Yes. The whole school. It's not just the outer courtyard. And the inner courtyard. Over there in the inner courtyard. As long as it's not currently at war. When I saw this announcement from the school, all of them had their mouths enlarged, as if they had seen a ghost. WTF? Zian. Of course they know. The freshmen of this class are the strongest. But, a freshman becomes dean? What the hell kind of operation is this? The principal and the vice principals are out of their minds? A man's face was full of confusion. Don't say anything else. Let's just talk about Hai Tang, one of the top 10 geniuses in the Earth Federation. He is just a lecturer. Zian is the dean? But after reading the detailed introduction and Zian's detailed contribution, everyone fell silent again. Although the specific circumstances of this incident were not clearly stated in the announcement. But the news says it. The news has already been overwhelmingly publicized. The entire Ghana tribe rebelled and took refuge with the Modi Inhumans among the Inhumans. A wormhole connecting the black iron Inhumans appeared tens of thousands of years ago. But he kept hiding it. Not only did he refuse to retaliate, he also took the initiative to join the black iron Inhumans. Help the black iron Inhumans disguise themselves as pirates and hunt their own compatriots. What a heinous crime. And, judging from the circumstances of the interrogation, 2 more years. The Ghanaian people will migrate as a whole. By the time, the Inhumans will launch a massive attack. At least the Earth Federation is absolutely gone. What's the population? Absolutely heinous crime. But This conspiracy was discovered by Zian. Then report it quickly. The Universal Human Federation responded immediately and agreed to the action applications of the Seoul Empire and the Earth Federation. And in the follow-up period, a large number of strong men were sent to respond. The rebellious ethnic group of Ghana was directly crushed, leaving no chickens or dogs behind. Then used this wormhole to counterattack. Taking advantage of their unpreparedness, they destroyed 3 nebula forces of the Inhumans in one fell swoop, and annihilated hundreds of other ethnic groups. The number of Inhuman casualties is countless. The losses were extremely heavy. Moreover, all the important areas within the nebula area were searched and looted, and those that could not be taken away were destroyed. For example, the area is full of natural resources and treasures. For example, precious mineral vein areas. The most precious thing among them is the destruction of a nanocluster mining area of the other party. Speaking of which, our own personnel are really deadly. At that time, a large number of spaceships were directly mobilized to drag back the entire planet with the nanocluster mine. Now, it has been dragged into human territory. Just from the harvest of this nanocluster mine, this trip was a profit. Not to mention countless other benefits. So, Adine. It seems like nothing? Not to mention, Zian took the initiative to contact the school senior management. This time, the school's top management also received massive benefits. It is said, Gu Qingzhan is already preparing to evolve the immortal ship. Several other vice principals, Zhang Wushuang and vice principal Zhang, then prepare to evolve into a star destroyer. 2 other vice-chancellors. Then one is ready to evolve into an intermediate deep space ship, and the other is ready to evolve into an advanced deep space ship. Even Haitang followed and took a bite of meat. Now she is ready to evolve into a Tier 9 cruiser. Just one step away. It's a battleship. The remaining senior officers of the battleships were left. There are 2 ship captains ready to break into deep space. The rest are all one step or even a few steps closer. Such a huge contribution. 100,000 points, Dean of the Department of Evolution. What kind of? 1xf. What a great deal, right? Not to mention, there was also news from school senior officials. This time Zian, as an evolutionist, participated in the Young Evolutionary Exhibition of the Earth Federation Evolutionary Association. After, he will even lead China University to achieve at least the top 3 rankings in one fell swoop. It is no longer the kind that has always been at the bottom. See here. Everyone was silent, including those seniors who were already destroyer captains. Everyone fell silent. What else can I say? Can only say, Zian is awesome. Not to mention, rewards from the remaining Earth Federation, Seoul Empire, and Universal Human Federation. It made these people feel dizzy, too strong. It is no exaggeration to call him the strongest freshman in history. And at this time, the school forum has long been in chaos. 999,999. That's awesome. That's awesome. Zian Nyobi. The guy upstairs needs to know how to deal with the world. Is he still called Zian now? He should be Dean Su. Yes, yes. Dean Su is awesome. I'm convinced, I'm really convinced. It is said that Hu Honghu is coming to our school soon. He has already chosen several schools. Now that he knows the strength of Dean Su, do you still dare to come? Ha ha ha, I'm suddenly looking forward to him coming. Dean Su, I want to give you a baby. Upstairs, you are from the monkey tribe. What, you want to give birth to a little monkey for Dean Su? yen percent it yen. Exploded. The whole school exploded. Including some teachers, they all looked confused and shocked. This is still a student? Besides, I will see Zian later. What should I call him? Call him by name? Or should we call him Dean Su? But if you call him Dean Su and he goes to attend his class, what should I do? These teachers were all speechless. Just feel it. Over the years, I have lived like a dog. Even a freshman has become the dean, and I am still struggling as a school lecturer. That's all. You need to understand a little more about the world. Let's call him Dean Su. After all, Su is now the dean. Who knows what will happen next? I heard that this time Su Zian said he wanted to be the vice principal. Please give me flowers. Horrible, terrible. Haitang was at home, chatting with Qin Mei. The content of the chat is Su Zian's contribution this time and the benefits he obtained. No doubt. Qin Fuyue was dumbfounded. We agreed to become classmates together. As a result, my freshman year is only over a year away, and you become the school leader? In fact, Haitang was quite conflicted at the moment. She really thought the principal and the others were joking. Who knows when I come back? Did Su Zian really be appointed as the dean? In fact, how did she know? Gu Qingzhan and the others had no choice but to appoint Su Zian as the dean. What to say? Because Su Zian's contribution was so great and his help to them was so great, I don't know what to reward Su Zian anymore. Actually speaking. Even if it means making Su Zian the vice principal, or even the principal. This contribution is so big that it is enough. Seriously speaking, it is no exaggeration to say that Su Zian saved the entire Earth Federation. 0. Shenzhou Academy is also a member of the Earth Federation. Doesn't that mean it is the savior of the entire Shenzhou Academy? Oh, the inner court is not included, but the outer court is 100%. So what's the problem with letting him be the principal? The principal is definitely not good, and the vice principal is definitely not good either. Because it's somewhat outrageous. But the problem is, I really don't know what to reward Su Zian with. I have been troubled for a few days. Finally decided. Appoint him as dean. Even if this matter will cause a big fuss, it doesn't matter. Again. Let Su Zian be the dean, the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. And the facts prove that it is indeed the case. After learning about Su Zian's contribution, not many people think there is anything wrong with Su Zian being the dean. Max? It's just a slight discomfort. After all, strictly speaking. Yesterday, Su Zian was still her student. Became her leader today. I feel a little bit unhappy. That's what I was thinking. Suddenly, a message came from her optical brainwatch. I looked at it and saw that it was from Su Zian. Click open in doubt. Or a voice note. Keep clicking in doubt. Then Su Zian's triumphant voice came out, ahem, that, Haitang. This dean has something to tell you. It's like this dean is hungry. You go to the restaurant in Yachi Star for my dean and buy some food. I want to eat that donkey meat roasted on fire. By the way, another bowl of donkey meat soup. Well, that's all for now. Oh, right. Come on, call Dean Su again and come and listen. As long as you scream nicely, I'll buy you delicious food. Those triumphant words. Hearing this, Haitang's eyebrows jumped up and down. The pair of small fists also slowly started to squeeze. A dangerous smell. It spread instantly. Very good. Very good. Dean? Dean, right? Dean Su, Haitang didn't scream. She hung up the phone directly. Su Zian chuckled proudly. Should be said or not? A little cool. Feeling good. Evolution must continue. This time evolution. The main purpose is to give Huchichi's howl a good evolution. Her howl. But Su Zian specially studied it in design simulation for a long time. That firepower. Definitely the most ferocious frigate in history. Must be the maximum length, width and height. There are only limited length, width and height. Only then can you carry more weapons and store more ammunition. On the choice of weapons, Su Zian can be said to do everything possible. Ordinary frigates have at most 2 main guns, 4, 6, or 8 secondary guns. Zian's design is. There are 4 main guns, but the secondary guns have been increased to 16. After all, it is fire coverage, so the hive missile launcher is naturally indispensable. Anyway, now that Hu Chi-Chi is rich, there is no need to save money for her, and she can use the best weapons. 338 caliber honeycomb missile launcher. At this stage 047 is an absolutely violent fire suppression weapon. A hive missile launcher, BC launcher, when fully loaded. It can all be launched within 3 seconds. Think about it, how terrifying the firepower coverage will be when all 36 missiles with 338 caliber ultra-miniature hydrogen bomb warheads are launched within 3 seconds. And such a hive missile launcher. Zian installed 4 doors in total. There are 2 doors at the bow of the starship, and then there are 2 doors at the belly of the starship. Besides, 4 main guns were hit. 2 are rapid-firing high-explosive main cannons, and 2 are super rapid-firing ion main cannons. The secondary guns are all super rapid-firing energy cannons. Anti-aircraft guns? What is that? Location of anti-aircraft guns. All the space is used to convert the main gun and secondary gun, including the Aowu's hull, armor, etc. All adopt lightweight design to save as much space as possible. All the space saved is used to load ammunition. Aowu, Zian completely built it into a mobile super turret. Not only must the fire coverage be extremely fierce, but the durability of its fire coverage must also be guaranteed. All other facilities have to give way to its firepower and ammunition storage compartments. Let's put it that way. The fierceness of the Aowu's firepower now made even Zian feel his scalp numb. He admits it. Even if it is the brilliant number. When faced with such a ferocious hell, one has to avoid the edge for a while. Because the firepower is really too strong. Hu Chi-Chi was excited. Because of Zian's evolutionary plan. She won her heart. The most important thing is the new hull and its weapons system. All evolved to pink perfect quality. Faster rate of fire. More powerful. Reload faster. Absolutely a super killer weapon. Hu Chi-Chi's beautiful eyes were staring straight at Zian, unable to move away. Seeing Zian makes her heart tremble. This goblin. This time evolution. It lasted for 10 days in total. Brilliant number. Unsurprisingly, it successfully evolved to the 3rd-tier frigate level. Miao Xiaomei and Taimei also evolved to the 10th level reconnaissance ship early. Fox Chi-Chi's Hell. All evolutions have been completed today. After reading the evolved attributes, the 3 women were silent at the same time, and even Zian felt a sudden change in his heart. This thing. Let's put it that way. Now Hu Chi-Chi is alone. There is absolutely no problem in suppressing 10 enemy frigates and beating them until they can't lift their heads. This is just the most basic estimate. Not only that. It's not just about being able to suppress it. Its terrifying power and slightly inferior defense. They can all be killed instantly by the violent firepower. It's hard to imagine. Wait until Miao Xiaomei and Taimei's starships evolve into frigates at the same time. How powerful will their brilliant team be? Evolution is complete. What to do next? Just practice hard. There are enough evolution points now. There is no shortage of money either. Naturally, practice vigorously and learn the Emperor's knowledge every day. Zian is no exception. But Zian has other things to do. He became the dean of the Evolution Division Department. Then we definitely can no longer look at the current situation of the Evolution Division. Again, since I got 3,000 points, I got a month's salary. Then you have to be worthy of the salary. Otherwise, how can I be a principal in the future? Secondly, after tying up the evolutionist, as the dean, Zian can also receive rewards from the school. And there are a lot of rewards Zian doesn't want to give up. So, He thought it was necessary for him to go to the evolution division to have a look. In addition, the knockout round of the Young Evolver competition is about to begin. Completed the knockout rounds. What follows is the real schedule. And the competition among the major universities in the Earth Federation is about to be held. Anyway, too many things to keep busy. Zian must win all these rewards. Get these rewards and nothing else. The value of one's own wealth. Maybe it will break through 1 million completely. At that time, a new function can be unlocked. And during this period, evolve the level of the brilliance as quickly as possible. The best. It was the day of the finals of competitions between major universities. He is in the form of an assault ship and the first place in the Young Evolver competition. Show it to the schools that have denied you membership. How short-sighted was their original approach? Don't say Zian has no temper or anything. That's impossible. He has a bad temper. It's just been hidden. Especially the Federal Imperial City Starship Academy. As for whether it will offend the Federation Imperial City Starship Academy? Oh. It offends you. What can you do to me? In the past, Zian might have been more cautious. Now? Just asking you, if I offend you, what can you do to me? Is the title of Brilliant Star a joke on you? Don't be frivolous when you are young, and wait until you are older. I no longer have such frivolous thoughts. Being frivolous now is called wanton youth. Thinking like this, Zian drove the Star Shuttle and left Bright Island. Tobe. Any students who see Zian. Each one is called intimacy. Ouch. Dean Su. Hello, Dean. I've met the Dean. Dean Su, where are you going? Hello, Dean Su. Please hug me, Dean Su. This group of classmates, Dean Su, is called Dean Su so affectionately. Suddenly, Zian saw a teacher. Immediately, he pretended to control the Star Shuttle and flew towards the opponent casually. The other party immediately avoided it as if he were avoiding the god of plague. Zian suddenly raised his eyebrows, took the initiative to smile and shouted, "Oh, Teacher Gao." "Hello, Teacher Gao. Where are you going, Teacher Gao?" Seeing Zian take the initiative to say hello, Teacher Gao couldn't hide when he saw the truth. In desperation, he could only say vaguely, "Ah? Oh, Su%yen hashtag, what about me? Aha, I didn't see you just now, sorry. Ah. Things are urgent here, so I'm leaving now. See you later." Finished. Turn up the power of his shuttle engines to maximum. He ran away like crazy. Zian smacked his lips. This Teacher Gao. Not authentic. You don't even want to call me Godfather. No, Dean. It's a bit rude. But that's okay, there isn't much else to the school. 1.6 Isn't it easy to find a teacher? Teacher Gao ran away. Zian immediately walked towards the other teacher. These teachers pretended not to see him. He also made a special detour and pretended to pass in front of the other party. If the other party calls out Dean Su, Zian will be content to let him go. What if the other party really can't say Dean Su? Zian will take the initiative to speak. After all, you just have to ask the teacher to speak. For a while. In the group of teachers of Shenzhou University, news about the incident spread quickly. Suddenly, all the teachers in the school knew. Zian is such a brat. Became a dean. Then he started shouting like crazy. The kind who will never give up until he calls out Dean Su. This made many teachers who were originally going out afraid to go out during this time. What the hell? Call a new student to be the dean. Not every teacher can shout it out loud. The key point is that Zian is also very shy. This is even more uncomfortable. For a while, all the teachers in the school were gnashing their teeth with hatred. In the evolution department, Zian walked slowly behind the two graceful figures with pink and tender rabbit ears that were always moving. He coughed lightly and pretended to shout, "That, little Yuan." Bai Xiaoyao, who was concentrating on studying the evolutionary information, was startled, stood up reflexively, and shouted, "Yes. Don't blame her for being like this. Because in the evolution department, the only people who called her that were the teachers and the dean. Her classmates directly called her Bai Xiaoyuan, but when she stood up and turned around, she saw that it was Empress Su standing behind her. That innocent and beautiful face was full of weird colors. The jade-white cheeks were slightly red, as if they were embarrassed. Zian smiled even brighter, "That, little Yuan. As the new dean of the evolutionary department of our Shenzhou University, I have to say a few words to you. This study requires a balance between work and rest. Look at you, how long have we been friends? But you have almost never taken the initiative to contact me, the dean. You don't even want to take me out to eat or go shopping. I have been thinking about studying all day, so I need to rest." Bai Xiaoyuan's pretty face turned red at the words. I wanted to open my mouth to refute, but then I remembered Zian's current identity, and his rosy little mouth pursed for a long time, but I didn't dare to refute. He just lowered his head, pouted his mouth, and looked aggrieved. It can be said that I feel pity for him. Zian admitted that his heart was almost made cute by this girl. He rolled his eyes and said, "Ah, but I am the dean. In fact, you should also personally pay attention to your 11 study status and living status. Come, tell me, Dean, how are you doing lately?" Zian is the dean who speaks every word. Bai Xiaoyuan looked helpless, but had to answer honestly, "The recent progress has been pretty good. I have passed the preliminary round of the Young Evolver competition and am now preparing for the knockout round." Zian said yo and said, "You also participated in the Young Evolver competition? Not bad, Dean, I will lead you to win when the time comes." After a pause, he suddenly asked, "By the way, Xiaoyuan, did you join any fleet?" Bai Xiaoyuan shook her head and said, "I have joined a seniors team before. But now that they have graduated, I have never joined any team again." Zian's heart moved, and he took the initiative to invite, "That's it, then do you want to come to my dazzling fleet? Let me tell you, our brilliant fleet is only 4 months old, but it is already 6 stars in black iron. How's it going? Are you coming? There is no need for you to fight, you can just be the support ship in our team." Bai Xiaoyuan is the captain of the assault ship. As a student of Shenzhou University, she is from the evolution department. But he is also good at fighting. There is no student in Shenzhou Academy who is not good at fighting. In fact, since the last attack on the Inhumans, Zian already had the idea of adding a support ship to the brilliant fleet. Support ships are indeed necessary. Especially when there are firepower ships like Huchichi in their fleet, the importance of support ships becomes particularly prominent. In addition, I remember seeing Bai Xiaoyao's starship when I entered school. It's big and doesn't have many weapons. This also proves that the internal space will not be small. It's quite suitable as a support ship. Support ships are used to carry various supplies. When necessary, the combat effectiveness will not be bad. It has a great effect. Bai Xiaoyuan was startled. She obviously did not expect that Zian would suddenly invite her to join the brilliant fleet. She had heard of the name of the brilliant fleet to some extent. Don't look at the fact that the brilliant fleet has only been established for 4 months. And spends most of the time outside. But during the first mission, the fleets from Shenzhou Academy, such as the Spear Fleet, came back. He was bragging to the dazzling fleet. So much so that the brilliant fleet is now quite famous. Don't say. For Zian's invitation. Bai Xiaoyuan is really excited. Her big eyes flickered a few times, and her beautiful ruby-like pupils flashed with thought. Suddenly he nodded heavily and said, "Okay, I am willing to join the brilliant fleet. As long as you don't dislike me. Although I am the captain of an assault ship, but my combat effectiveness is actually very poor. And when I was in seniors team, I was also a support ship. Upon hearing this, Zian was even happier. This guy is pretty good at speaking professionally. There is nothing more to say. Then you apply now, and I will approve it for you now. Zian said immediately. Bai Xiaoyuan is also a decisive person. Now that I have decided to join, there is nothing to say. Immediately, I sent an application to join the fleet on my computer watch. Zian did not immediately do so. Instead, his expression became serious, and he said, "Before joining, I need to make it clear to you. Our brilliant fleet is not the temporary fleet you joined before. Once you join our dazzling fleet, you will be there for life. I will never leave you for the rest of my life, and I will never betray you. Besides, you must obey my orders unconditionally." Bai Xiaoyuan seemed to be happier, nodded heavily and said, "Yeah. I also hope to be able to stay in a fleet. It's just that I never found a suitable fleet. And I'm a good boy, I will do whatever you say." Zian laughed. TSK. Take a look at this senior. She is so soft and waxy. She is really rare. No more words. Bai Xiaoya's application was immediately approved. At the same time, she was roped into the communication group of the brilliant fleet. Zian, come on, everyone, welcome our new member. Bai Xiaoyuan, please introduce yourself. Bai Xiaoyao, hello everyone, I am Bai Xiaoyuan, a new member of the brilliant fleet. I am a junior assault ship captain and now a support ship of our fleet. Fox Chichi, wow. Support ship. We actually have a support ship. Happy. Now I no longer have to worry about running out of ammunition during a war. Meow, welcome. You are actually the captain of an assault ship. Chen Zian, you can do it. Taimei, ho. Zian, call me Dean Su. Fox Chichi, I don't. Meowth, humph. Taimei, I won't scream either. You are younger than me. I am almost 19 years old and you have just turned 18. I won't scream. I just won't scream. Zian haha, I won't evolve your starship. Taimei, hello, Dean Su. In the communication group. Very lively. Bai Xiaoyao is also very welcome to join us. Support ships are an important part of those top fleets and must not be missing. The same goes for the brilliant fleet. The brilliant fleet wants to be a super powerful fleet. Then support ships are essential. Let's put it that way. Now the support ship, Bai Xiaoyuan, has joined. Their firepower will rise 2 levels again. After all, Zian, Miao Xiaomi, and Hu Qiqi can all consume ammunition without any scruples. The loading capacity of an assault ship-level support ship is super strong. More importantly, why is it called a support ship? The support ship will also be equipped with exploration drones, maintenance drones, medical rooms, and so on. It's not just a tool ship used to carry ammunition and fuel. For example, there are support ships. You can fly the 730 drone to search for targets and explore paths everywhere. Needless to say, the maintenance drone can repair damaged starships without fighting and without consuming evolution points. Medical room. That's professional medical equipment. That thing will suffer more than a medical gunman. Anyway. Support ships are particularly important, they are equivalent to the logistics of an army. Can it not be important? After getting to know the people in the brilliant fleet, Zian said, "Where's your starship? Come, take me to see it. I want to have the most intuitive understanding of your starship." Bai Xiaoyao took it easy and nodded happily, her 2 tender pink bunny ears wagging. "Okay. My little kite is at the door, I'll take you to see it." Zian nodded. Arriving at the landing pad at the entrance, and began to carefully observe the small camp area. The total length is 450 meters. Compared with the assault ship's maximum length of 499.9 meters, the short length of nearly 50 meters is definitely not a small number. However, Xiao Yuan has no way to make changes now, so he can only stay like this for now. Fortunately, the brilliant fleet currently has no far-flung combat plans, let alone long-term combat plans. 450 meters is actually enough. Moreover, the Xiaoyuan used to be a professional support ship, so the interior space is very large, and some support facilities are quite complete. For example, detection drones, maintenance drones, medical rooms, etc. are all available. But, wait until next time when the little kite evolves to the destroyer level. That must be the maximum length, width, and height. There is no doubt about this. Zian thought for a while and suddenly asked, "How much money do you have in your hand now?" Bai Xiaoyuan was stunned, looking at Zian stupidly. Could it be, did he just join the brilliant fleet? "Captain, are you going to ask me to borrow money?" Bai Xiaoyao felt bitter. But she didn't say it. Bai Xiaoyao felt bitter, but still answered honestly, I only have more than 40 million. The last time my little yuan evolved, I had already used up a lot. If you want to borrow money, I can lend you 30 million. But you have to leave me 10 million, you can't borrow all my money. This is all the money I saved through hard work, to help people evolve starships. Zian was stunned. Looking at the pitiful little white bird, he said dumbfounded, "You must be sick. Who said they asked you to borrow money?" Dean Su, still need to borrow money from you? What a fuss. I now have 4 nanoclusters in my account. Plus 3.15 billion in cash. And 116,000 points. I need to borrow money from you? Bai Xiaoyao was shocked. But then I thought about it. It seems so. As mentioned in the announcement, this time Zian will be rewarded with a total of 3 billion universe coins and 100,000 points. He is so rich. Really want. Bai Xiaoyuan looked at Zian with her beautiful ruby-like eyes, and tears of envy flowed from the corner of her mouth. Zian was speechless. He finally saw it. This little white bird. It should be that a real little miser didn't run away. But, as a little miser, he misunderstood that he wanted to borrow money from her. She only had 40 million, but she was still willing to lend herself 30 million. It's time to say it or not. It's a little touching. The eyes that looked at Bai Xiaoyao suddenly softened a lot. Of course, softness is softness. We also need to earn the money we should earn. So Zian said, "Don't ask anything. I have a secret channel. You can purchase Tian Kai Dibao in large quantities at super low prices. As for you, you are now a warrior-level warrior. But you probably haven't been taking Tian Kai Dibao before. The first grade ones will definitely not work, but the second grade ones will definitely be fine. A second grade heavenly material and earthly treasure that speeds up cultivation and improves biological energy. I'll sell it to you for 2 million apiece. Do you want it? Oh, by the way, this matter is strictly forbidden to be revealed to anyone, not to anyone. If anyone is discovered, he will be kicked out of the brilliant fleet directly. In addition, you are absolutely not allowed to buy natural materials and treasures from me at a low price and then sell them at a high price." Bai Xiaoyuan was already stunned. He said incredulously, "Second-grade treasures of heaven and earth, 2 or 2 million? And it also increases the biological body to increase the speed of cultivation? You didn't lie to me?" Zian was funny. "What did I lie to you for? Now I have only one request for you, to improve your strength as quickly as possible. The evolution value is not enough, tell us. As for us, if we have time, we will take you to hunt interstellar pirates and help you obtain evolution values. In short, practicing hard is the only thing you have to do now." Bai Xiaoyao was overjoyed and nodded repeatedly, yeah. I will definitely practice hard. By the way, I actually still have some evolution points. Enough to evolve next time and the next time. These evolution values are also what I accumulated last year, hey. Zian laughed, "Your evolution value is enough. Okay, let's not talk about this now. You will know when you have time. Now, tell me how much you want to buy. Bai Xiaoyuan immediately became energetic. If it's a second-grade one, if it's 2 million, I'll take 5 first. 5 servings will last me a long time. Zian smiled and said, no problem, of course no problem. Transfer the money first, and then I'll have the drone deliver it to you. Bai Xiaoyuan nodded repeatedly, worked quickly with her long fingers, and quickly transferred 10 million to Zian. Zian laughed. TSK. This money is earned. Cool. Not to mention that 1,000 worth of wealth was recorded in the account, but another 10 million in cash was taken away in vain. Why is it so easy to make money now? Seriously. Now that he has more than 3 billion in cash in hand, Zian really doesn't know how to spend it for a while. Don't say anything else. When the brilliance evolves into an assault ship, all the best assault ship parts in the universe must be used. Parts of the same quality but produced by different companies are different. Perhaps? Now you can try to prepare the parts, so that you don't have to go shopping everywhere to buy. Since you also participated in the Young Evolver competition. Zian said, after that for a while, you might as well stay on my island hopping. By the way, there are several other team members who also live on Bright Island. We usually learn combat skills and knowledge together. As for you, you can also follow me to learn the knowledge of an evolutionist. By the way, what grade are you in now? Bai Xiaoyuan blushed a little. I am still a first-grade evolutionist. Zian nodded lightly. Then you should study hard. When the time comes, I will focus on teaching you how to evolve the quality of the starship. Try to get a good ranking. We don't want to be in the top 10, but the rewards for the top 1,000 or even the top 100 are also very good. Bai Xiao nodded repeatedly. Yeah. I will listen to you. Those 2 bunny ears are swaying, they are really cute. After. Zian went to the teachers in the evolution department to have a chat. These teachers were all the old men who had robbed him from Zhang Wushuang when he entered school. Most of them are third-grade evolutionists, and they are all members of the Evolutionary Association. The strength is quite good. At least it's better than ordinary evolvers. I really have to compete with those top geniuses. Naturally, it's not enough to watch. It's probably a slightly above average level among evolutionists of the same level. I saw Zian looked at it. The teachers immediately lowered their heads and did their own thing silently. No matter how Zian wandered in front of them, no matter who Zian talked to. No one spoke to Zian. The whole time, it was as if Zian was a ghost. They even talked and laughed with each other, even pretending not to see Zian. Zian was speechless. After staying for a long time, Zian was helpless. After wandering around the evolution division for a few times, he left. As a dean. In fact, the evolution division has nothing to be responsible for. Just proceed as originally planned. Although Zian is the dean, he has no teaching rights. What's more, Zian can't waste his time to become a teacher. Present. Then he took Bai Xiaoyuan, who had packed his things, back to Bright Island. Today's brilliant island. But Zian doesn't live alone. The 3 girls, Miao Xiaomi, Hu Qiqi, and Taimei, all live in the big villa of Zian. Of course, it is fixed to 1 person per room. Now there is an extra Bai Xiaoyuan, it doesn't matter. Anyway, the villa is big enough. With current technology. Expanding it will only take more than an hour at most. The reason why the 4 girls were allowed to live here. Of course it's not that Zian has any bad intentions. I really want to teach them well. Regardless of whether others believe it or not, Zian thinks so himself. Our minds are absolutely pure. The days after. Then he continued to study, practice, and evolve. Where is Zian? Usually nothing happens. He will also jump to the little wife's brilliant number to cultivate the plants. Now the plant cultivation room is also used in the cultivation room on the little wife's brilliant ship. specially used to cultivate natural and earthly treasures for the 4 girls. Well, make money on the way. It's a hugely profitable deal, so you must take it seriously. At the same time, Zian will also take time to look for various parts for the evolved assault ship. It doesn't matter if it's brand new or used, as long as they are the most powerful parts in the universe that can be used by assault ships. Zian wants them all. If you don't need it yourself, you can also sell it to the 3 girls for them to use when they evolve into assault ships. Time flies. In the blink of an eye. The day of the knockout rounds has come. Knockout. It is also conducted in the virtual metaverse. The so-called knockout round. It's actually very simple, Zhaolihao. No need to compete with others. It's still the Earth Federation that immediately simulates a more difficult evolutionary task, and then you just complete it. This evolutionary mission has higher requirements on the quality, level, and cost of starship evolution. Not surprisingly, at least 90% of the people can be eliminated. Based on past experience. This mission is basically to evolve an advanced frigate. Quality requirements blue rare. The cost is less than 5 million. This difficulty is quite high. This level of difficulty is also the real filter that filters out ordinary evolutionists and geniuses. For example, by Xiaoyuan. She was a little nervous. On the journey of evolution, there is a big gap between her and those top geniuses. At the same time, after Xiang was eliminated. Just 3 days. The formal arena competition began immediately. Start with the arena match. The schedule is quite tight. Because the arena competition begins. It also represents the official opening of this year's Earth Evolutionary Association and Young Evolutionary Competition. And it also happens to be the day when the knockout rounds begin. That Hu Honghu finally arrived outside Shenzhou University. And getting ready to start setting up the arena, for a while. The news spread throughout the school instantly, in the virtual metaverse. Zian listened to the women talking about Hu Honghu, with a nonchalant expression on his face. He said casually, "Go back and kill Hu Qiqi. Or you can go now. It won't take much time anyway." Hu Qiqi immediately objected, "I don't want to go. You're about to start the knockout rounds, I'm still thinking about it." What's more, Hu Honghu's first words after setting up the ring were specifically to challenge you. Because you are the #1 freshman in our class. He came just for you. And he also said that after defeating you, their Federation Imperial City Starfleet Academy will be the well-deserved #1 in Star Wars. Zian sneered, this person also has a good plan. Knowing that other people in their school are useless, wait until the school competition begins. Even if he wins, others in his school will have to lose to our Chinese academy. The #1 spot in Star Wars will still be ours. I just asked him why he suddenly took on such a challenge. So you want to directly win the 3rd place in their college's Star Wars with your own strength? The other women also shook their heads and sneered. The abacus is really good. Miao Xiaomi asked, then do you want to accept his challenge? Zian thought for a while, and suddenly a brilliant idea appeared in his mind, and a sinister smile appeared on his face. He smiled and said, I accept it, of course I accept it. But why can he challenge me if he says he wants to challenge me? Challenge 020 for nothing, I lost, and the school lost its 1st place. If he loses, he doesn't even lose a single thing. How can anything good happen in the world? Let him wait first. I'll go out and have a look after I finish participating in the knockout rounds. There is nothing wrong with children. They are now. He didn't take that Hu Honghu seriously at all. Especially after knowing Zian's terrifying strength. Let alone Zian, Hu Qiqi doesn't even need to play. Neither Miao Xiaomi nor Tai Mei will necessarily lose. So, nothing to worry about at all. Just let him bounce around for a few hours. Too lazy to care about him. Finished talking about this. The women's eyes involuntarily moved to Qin Fuyue, who was sulking and drinking with her almond-shaped eyes. Miao Xiaomi and Hu Qiqi both raised their eyebrows and looked at Qin Fuyue. Qin Fuyue naturally showed no sign of weakness and looked at them instead. Beside the two girls, Tai Mei and Bai Xiaoyuan, looked like they were enjoying the show the whole time. Good guy. Stimulate. This is very exciting. They didn't expect it. Zian actually has such an old classmate. And she looks so beautiful. He is also the top genius of the Dawn Starship Academy. Especially since they can all see it. Qin Fuyue likes Zian very much, it can even be said that her eyes are full of him. However, we can also see that Miao Xiaomi and Hu Qiqi. He also obviously likes Zian. TSK, there's something good to watch. But as the central figure of firepower, why can Zian be so calm and motionless? This is what makes Tai Mei and Bai Xiaoyuan confused. In fact, why Zian can be so calm is very simple. Because he has never revealed who he likes. They like me, Dean Su. Why do I, Dean Su? There's nothing wrong with me. Why should I panic? Don't take the initiative or refuse. I can sit firmly on Dio Yutai. So Zian is very calm. As if he had no idea about the smokeless war between the three women, Sir Shiran drank his drink by himself. Qin Fuyue was the first to launch the offensive. She suddenly looked at Zian pitifully, with a wronged expression on her face, and asked, Zian, are they all members of your fleet? Why didn't you tell me? And why didn't you invite me? They are all so beautiful. Zian calmly pointed at Tai Mei, whose eyes were shining, thinking she was in for a good show, and said calmly, how is she so beautiful? The Thai people were dumbfounded. What the hell? I was just watching a show, and I was insulted. What's wrong with this? Also, why am I, Tai Mei, not a beauty? That's just not beauty in the eyes of most of you humans, because the aesthetics are different. He was immediately furious, but when he saw Zian's dangerous eyes, his expression froze, and he was instantly cowed. Just like a 3-meter-old baby, Bala whispered softly, actually, I am also a beautiful woman. Zian pretended not to hear it. And Qin Fuyue was also dumbfounded. Unexpectedly, Zian would become ruthless and kill one of his own people first. She couldn't even think about being green anymore. Of course, she didn't really want green tea or anything. I just feel like the man I have been chasing for a long time. It seems that it is suddenly harder to catch up, but I just feel aggrieved. She suddenly regretted it. I regret that I pursued my dream and went to Dawn Starship Academy. If I hadn't gone to Dawn Starship Academy by myself, Zian should have been chased by him, right? And you should, listen to your mother. Just have some raw rice and cooked rice. This way, Zian belongs to her. You should think more. An outstanding man like Zian. How could it not be attractive to girls? No. You must be proactive. Unfortunately. Now is the virtual metaverse, but that's okay. It won't be long. Zian will come to Imperial City. She will also go to the Imperial City. After arriving at the Imperial City, attack Zian again. If it doesn't work, I'll knock Zian unconscious with a stick and take him away to cook rice. She thought viciously. As for the two girls, Hu Qiqi and Miao Xiaomi, they looked at each other. Just as he was about to say something, Zian took the time to stand up and suddenly said, the time is up. I'm going to compete. Go first. Finished. The figure quickly disappeared from the spot, teleported directly to the competition venue. The children looked at each other. As soon as Zian left, there was no intention of fighting anymore. They disappeared one after another and appeared in the auditorium to watch Zian's game. Knockout. It's still a single player, and it's still a matter of completing the evolution tasks that are generated at once. But this mission cannot be taken casually. You should show your own standards. This way. Only then can he directly become the ringleader in the arena stage 3 days later. Zian also planned this. It is not difficult to give him randomly generated tasks. Evolve a scout ship from level 7 to level 8. Overall lowest quality blue rare. The cost is less than 5 million. In the case of acceleration, the time cannot exceed 3 days at most. That is before the start of the arena competition. The shorter the time, the higher the quality, and the lower the cost, the higher the score will be. All of these. There is really no difficulty for Zian. In just a few dozen minutes, a complete evolutionary plan was generated in his mind. A few more hours. Direct evolution completed. Quality. 100% overall red excellence. FA. 43,475. Time. 4 hours and 37 minutes. Easy to do. The system scores instantly. It was directly given a super excellent rating. Excellent rating. Basically, a ringmaster position in the star region where he is located is directly locked. But having this ringmaster quota will make it much easier. Because others need to go through a series of competitions to determine the top 100 people. These 100 people. Only then do you have the right to challenge the challenger. Basically, Zian will be very relaxed in the early stage. The elimination round is over. Zian returned to the place he just left, and several girls have also come back. Because I have seen Zian's evolution master strength for a long time, there is nothing to be shocked about. Except for the white bird. Bai Xiaoyuan was stunned the whole time. She knew that Zian's evolution master was very powerful. But I never thought it would be so powerful. When she saw the overall quality of the starship that Zian had just evolved during the assessment, she was so frightened that she grabbed her 2 rabbit ears and covered her mouth. Let's go and see what's going on with that Hu Honghu. Zian stretched his waist, looked at Qin Fuyue, and said with a smile, "We'll leave first. You should work hard yourself. See you in the Imperial City then." Qin Fuyue finally showed a sweet smile. After. The figures on both sides gradually disappeared. Zian just returned to reality. The communicator kept ringing like crazy. China University at this time. That's a lot of fun. There is a lot of information flooding the forums. Countless classmates went crazy for Zian's account. Zian clicked over and took a look, raising his eyebrows. Finally, I understand why the classmates are so lively. It turned out that it was during the period when I was participating in the knockout rounds. All our personnel have lost. Including Yu Xiao and Tu Jiu. And he lost miserably. Have to say. This Hu Honghu is indeed a top genius with considerable strength and talent. Now. Astonishingly, it is already a Tier 3 frigate. Even comparable to Zian's speed. Actually. That is to say, when Zian was able to evolve the starship, he was delayed by other things. Otherwise. Now they are all Tier 4 or even Tier 5 frigates. Fig. Starship level doesn't mean anything. Zian's current highest achievement in the Star Wars simulation is to kill a Tier 9 assault ship of the insect tribe with 58% of his own damage. And to know. Enemies in Star Wars simulation. They are all soldiers who have been fighting on the border all year round, the kind with extremely strong fighting power. I really have to count. If replaced by an ordinary starship captain. I dare not say it when I am too high. First tier destroyer. Zian may not say he can win, but he can definitely remain invincible. This Hu Honghu is considered powerful if he can defeat a junior assault ship. And obviously, he can't beat it. So, what kind of challenge and what kind of arena is this? In Zian's eyes. It's just kids playing house. However, Zian is ready to accept the challenge. The reason is simple. He dislikes the Federation Imperial City Starfleet Academy very much. Now comes the opportunity to disgust the other person. As a man with a big heart and a belly that can hold a boat. Of course Zian will not miss this opportunity. He smiled. He immediately said, let's go. Then go and meet this Hu Honghu. You don't need to take action later, I will do it myself. The four girls all looked at Zian suspiciously. They always feel that Zian is uneasy and seems to be brewing some conspiracy. But they have no evidence. Too lazy to think about it. We will find out later what Zian has in mind. Immediately. The four girls were also in a hurry, driving their own starships, following behind the brilliant, heading towards the Star Wars star. Star Wars star, Star Wars battlefield. Compared to the excitement on the forum, there was a deathly silence here at the moment. Everyone gritted their teeth and remained silent. Look at the field again. There are a total of 6 starships, all of which are 8,000% damaged. However, none of these 6 starships were repaired. They are all waiting for someone to arrive. And these 6 starships, all are in the bottom 6 of the top 10 on the list. Stop worrying about the top 4. The first is Zian. The second is Chi. The third place is Mei. The fourth Meow Meow. 4 people, directly on the list. This is also the reason why the brilliant fleet is now famous in the school. And everyone knows it. The reason why the 3 women have become so powerful now, it is precisely because of following Zian that I became a member of the brilliant fleet. Tu Jiu and Yu Xiao were originally slightly stronger than Chi and Mei. Now they are all suppressed directly. And it's the kind that has no power to fight back. No way. There really is no way. Others don't tell. Just say that Mei. Her boulder stopped there. You can't even break her defense. And she is waiting for you to beat her to despair. Then activate the boulder and give you a brutal collision. That posture. I just want to ask you if you accept it. Tu Jiu was convinced. Not to mention Yu Xiao, Mei's little licking dog. The one who is convinced both physically and mentally. Look at the other end. A rather domineering and sturdy frigate was parked there. There was no damage at this time. Enough to see. Hu Honghu's strength is indeed very powerful. And above the battlefield, several deep spaceships were also parked. One is to provide timely rescue during battle. Equals. They are here to support their respective students. One of them. It is the starship of the Vice Principal of the Starfleet Academy in the Federal Imperial City. He is also Hu Honghu's teacher. This time, I brought Hu Honghu out. It was his idea. According to his ideas, not only can it serve the purpose of sharpening Hu Honghu, he might even be able to win the title of number 1 in Star Wars. This calculation can be heard by the entire galaxy. That's the sound of the frame. And at this time, the vice principals were also sarcastic with each other. Of course, the classmates could not hear the cynicism between them. After all, the vice principals of the 2 schools were quarreling with each other, which was really too much. At this moment, a classmate shouted in surprise, "It's out. Brother Su is here." Suddenly, the other students were overjoyed and looked at the optical brain watches again and again. Brother Su's Young Evolver Knockout tournament is over, and he's coming this way now. Haha. As expected of Brother Su, I thought I had to wait a day or 2. Are you making such a fuss? Are you telling me that with Brother Su's ability as an evolutionist, he still has to wait a day or 2 for a mere knockout round? That's right, Brother Su, that's Dean Su. Ah, yes, Dean Chen and Dean Su. When I saw the news that Su Zian appeared, all the students who were lifeless just a second ago suddenly became very excited. Enough to see Su Zian's status among his classmates and how loved he is. In fact, this is normal. First of all, Su Zian is really awesome, so awesome, the kind that the students were completely convinced by. Secondly, that means Su Zian is an awesome evolutionist. Not to mention the distant past, let's just say that starships have evolved in recent times. All are overall red and of excellent quality. Asking for flowers. Who doesn't love it? Don't say you love me, just support me like a father. Just as the classmates were smiling happily, several starships also appeared. Headed. It is Zian's brilliant account. The brilliant fleet is coming. Are you planning to let others come in? That's right, Hu Honghu is the only one who needs Brother Su to take action in person. That's right, Hu Chichi can defeat this Hu Honghu alone. Haha, this Hu Honghu can be arrogant in other colleges. Now he comes to our China University and is arrogant. He is simply asking for death. In conversation. Brilliant fleet. Finally came to the battlefield. Just arrived. In Zian's communicator. Then shouts of Dean Su rang out one after another, and the students shouted enthusiastically. Calling Zian made my heart feel happy. Sensible. Very sensible. Zian is very happy here, but the vice principals and teachers of the school high above were speechless. They all have a headache now. I have a headache and don't know how to say hello to Zian. Originally, calling Zian would definitely be fine. But the key point is that brat Zian loves the word Dean Su. How can they shout out loud? Each and every one of them regretted it. I was really blinded by lard at first. Why did you agree to this kid becoming the dean? Are you Zian? At this time, a rich young voice sounded in the public channel of the communicator. It was incompatible with the compliments. Zian raised his eyebrows and said in a majestic voice, "You're not polite, call me Dean Su." The man was immediately choked, and said in a loud voice, "You are not the dean of our Federation Imperial City Starship Academy, you are just the dean of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, why should I call you dean?" Zian said calmly, "In other words, if you are not a teacher, dean, or principal of our college, you can call each other directly by name?" Without even thinking about it, the man nodded immediately and said, "Yes, you are not my dean, why should I call you dean?" Hear what the other person said. Zian raised his head, opened the public channel directly, and shouted loudly, "Who is that?" "That surname is Li Taoxing, right?" Li Taoxing, it's not my fault. You heard what your student said. As long as they are not from your own school, you can call them by their first names. You are the vice principal of Starship Academy in the Federal Imperial City, not the vice principal of our Chinese Academy. So is there any problem if I call you Li Taoxing? Li Taoxing? Li Taoxing, don't say anything. I know you're lying on your stomach up there. Don't think I don't know, just tell me. Zian's voice was not quiet. The content expressed in his words made all the students look dumbfounded. Don't talk about these classmates. Even the vice principals of Tiansheng Zhanwushuang. And the teachers from our school around me. Everyone was dumbfounded listening to Zian's voice. I couldn't come back to my senses after a while. Should be said or not? Talk about bravery. It must be yours, Zian is brave. Boo, who is Li Taoxing? Li Taoxing. The vice principal of the Starfleet Academy in the Federal Imperial City. He is also the dean of the Star Wars Department of the Federal Imperial City Starfleet Academy. Zian. In full view. Call people by their first names. And he also said Li Taoxing. Zhan Wushuang covered his forehead. Even she. They were all frightened by this daring student. I really don't know how to write the word death. That's the captain of the deep space ship. You, a frigate captain, are so provocative to a deep space ship captain? You are awesome. As a teacher, I am convinced. The other vice principals also looked at Zian with complicated faces. Don't say anything else. Just our classmate Su. Dean Su has the courage to call it the #1 university in China. I believe no one will be dissatisfied. Haitang, who was watching the battle, was also shocked. I originally planned to find an opportunity to teach Zian a lesson. After all, he has been a bit too arrogant recently. I would send her a message every now and then and ask her to call me Dean Su. But now. She got it. Zian is not arrogant. It's just pure drifting. Even these vice principals and teachers are like this. Not to mention ordinary classmates. Regardless of the 767 new students or old students. One counts as one. Everyone looked at Zian dumbfounded. Awesome. Really awesome. As expected of the dean of our Shenzhou University. This way. After Zian finished shouting, there was a strange silence on Li Taoxing's side. What else can we do? This is someone else's territory, what can you do to them? Oh no, it should be said that this Earth Federation is Zian's territory. Announcement issued by Shenzhou University. It's not just an internal announcement. Some time ago, even in the past few days. News about Zian can be found here. Who doesn't know the name of Bright Star? Who doesn't know that he has the same authority as an Earth Federation admiral? And he's also a baron of the Seoul Empire. So. Li Taoxing. What can you do to others? Actually, speaking of this, have to say. Recently, their Federal Imperial City Starship Academy has been very busy because of Zian's incident. Others don't tell. Let's just say that the vice principal who immediately decided not to include Zian after learning that Zian's starship was blown up. At this moment, I was ked straight to the bottom. He has been sent to work as a logistics officer. He Shuangsong was even worse. After all, he is more or less a vice principal. But he Shuangsong, just an admissions teacher, was fired directly. And senior officials of the Starfleet Academy of the Federal Imperial City. Each intestine is not regretful for being green, but regretful for being green. What a coincidence, he. Also one of them. I regret so much. But it's a done deal, and there's really no way around it. Back to business. Li Taoxing didn't know how to respond to Zian. But Hu Honghu, as his student, was furious. His voice was full of anger, and he shouted, Zian. You don't. Zian yelled back angrily, you told me to call me Dean Su. I am the dean. I don't have any education, do I? The other party's voice hesitated, but then he said angrily, Dean Su. You are not allowed to. Zian roared again, you already call me Dean, so what's the problem if I call your principal by his name? Ah? The other party was confused. Opened his mouth. Not a word could come out. Just looking at Zian stupidly. Around. There was dead silence. Zian felt comfortable. Feel much more comfortable. The dissatisfaction with the Federation Imperial City Starfleet Academy that had always been suppressed in my heart. It finally eased a lot. After all, we are a generous man. Don't hold grudges. Once you are angry, you will naturally stop holding grudges. Suzy, Dean Su, I want to duel with you. Will you accept my challenge? I must defeat you. Let you see, Wei is the most powerful. Our Federation Imperial City Starship Academy, at least in my class, is definitely number one. This Hu Honghu is not stupid either. Knowing that he couldn't defeat Zian, he went straight to the topic. Wait, let's speak with strength. Zian must be pushed to the ground and beaten. Only in this way can you let out a bad breath. Challenge me, no problem. But why do you say that I have to accept the challenge? Huh? You challenge me, you win, and I lose a Star Wars first place. You lost, but I didn't win anything, because I am the third star in Star Wars. So tell me, why should I accept your challenge like this? Zian asked Shiran. Hu Honghu frowned immediately. He didn't know how to answer this question. Someone made the decision for him. A faint man's voice sounded from the communicator. I agreed on his behalf. You tell me what the conditions are. Whether it's money, supplies, or anything else. We all agree here. Listen to what the other person says. The corners of Zian's mouth suddenly turned upward. Are you sure you can make the decision? Are you sure you can make the decision for your Federation Imperial City Starship Academy? Li Taoxing's voice was still very calm, but somewhat more arrogant. I, as the vice principal, can still do this. So, feel free to bring it up. That's what I've been waiting for. Zian chuckled and said loudly, since you can make the decision, it's no problem. You win, and the first place in Star Wars belongs to you. But you lost, you, and Hu Honghu, all have to join our Chinese Academy. You, come to my evolution department and be my deputy dean. Hu Honghu, come to my evolution department and become my student. You just said it yourself. If you agree, you can also make the decision. And I also recorded it. That's all I've got. If you regret it, I will release what you just said. Of course, if you think you can't beat me, that's okay. Then put your tail between your legs and be a human being, and disappear from here immediately. You are not qualified to challenge me, understand? Oh, by the way, when you leave, stop bragging that you are the best in Star Wars. Do you understand? Itis. The whole audience. A real pin drop can be heard. It was as if even the air had fallen into deathly silence at this moment. Even the principal, Gu Qingzhan, was hiding in the dark and observing secretly, after staying for a while. That old face suddenly glowed wildly. Even now he just wants to shout dash. Damn it, Dean Su is so awesome. Zhan Wushuang, the other vice principals, and the teachers. After staying for a while one by one, I suddenly became excited. Zian has this condition. This is something they definitely didn't expect. But this condition is really amazing. It can be said that they were directly held up. Promise? Sure. Don't agree? So you just don't have confidence in your own strength? Since you are not confident that you can defeat us, what are you calling us here? You don't have the confidence to win, but you still want to get first place? It's noisy. Really? Li Taoxing was silent for a moment and said, flatly, impossible. This condition is too extreme, I will never agree to it. Zian said leisurely, oh? The conditions are too much? Where is it too much? What's going on? If our Shenzhou Academy loses, won't the #1 spot in Star Wars be given to you? Then tell me whether you have gone too far or not. Okay, since you don't even have the confidence to defeat me, why are you talking to me about being the best in Star Wars? Go back to where you came from and cool off. I don't have that much time to spend with you grinding your teeth. A very low-level provoking method. But it's very useful. Especially when it comes to Hu Honghu. Hu Honghu had wanted to have a fight with Zian for a long time, but he was very angry with Zian just now. Now I see Zian provoking him again and again. He immediately couldn't hold it anymore, and without waiting for Li Taoxing's response, he immediately shouted, I agree. Whether my instructor agrees or not is his business. But I agreed to it myself. I can definitely win. Teacher, you believe me? Li Tao was anxious. What did I just want to say? Over at Zian, he suddenly remembered what Li Taoxing had just said. Don't miss a word, speak clearly. Then I heard Zian laugh and say, don't. I've recorded everything here. Or, give up and leave, thinking that you are not as good as our Chinese university. Or, I will put this recording into the virtual metaverse. So, think about it carefully. Zian said softly. Li Taoxing was completely silent at the end of 2.7. Zian played this trick. It was something he never expected. These hands are so dirty. Once Zian really wins, then they really can't go back to the Federation Imperial City Starship Academy. I can't afford to lose that person. But, are you really not going back? If you really don't go back, then the school will probably explode your lungs. Wait. Li Taoxing was suddenly shocked. He suddenly thought. Perhaps this is Zian's true purpose? Of course he knew about the conflict between Zian and the school. So what Zian is doing now is understandable. FFLX. It made the lungs of the school explode with anger. He lost his wife and lost his troops. Not only did they lose a vice principal, but also the #1 genius in the Star Wars department. It was even more embarrassing. After all, even his own vice principal and the first genius of Star Wars lost. It really makes people laugh out loud. Especially the other 8 colleges that Hu Honghu challenged before. He will definitely do this and laugh at them for 100,000 years. Or this. This is Zian's real purpose. This person. Your mind is really a bit too small, right? Li Taoxing was speechless. This kid's heart. Somewhat too dirty. Li Taoxing was in a dilemma. For a moment, he didn't even know what to choose. But listening to his disciple's words full of anger and unyielding, he just knew it. If you don't agree. This incident has always been a thorn in Hu Honghu's heart that cannot be erased. This is something more terrifying than losing. It doesn't matter if you lose. Hu Honghu can continue to catch up in the future, and his fighting spirit will even be higher. But if you don't fight, you will lose. Hu Honghu is equivalent to being directly abolished. There was silence for a long time. Li Taoxing decided to choose to believe in his disciple. Of course Zian knows. I also know that Zian is very powerful, very, very powerful. He believes in his disciples even more. I believe that Hu Honghu, the disciple whom he personally trained, will not let him down. Gritting his teeth, Li Taoxing said solemnly, "Okay." I agreed. You go and fight. He chose to believe in Hu Honghu. A simple sentence. Hu Honghu was overjoyed and he immediately said with a ferocious smile, "Suzy. Dean, can we start now?" Zian is funny. This Hu Honghu, why do you feel like your brain is a little unclear? Are we being a little too bullying? However, these thoughts only flashed through my mind and were quickly thrown aside. You can start anytime. Seeing as you can't wait any longer, come on. Zian said with a smile. Driving number 11, the brilliant car reached the middle position. Hu Honghu indeed couldn't hold himself back any longer. His consistent victories have convinced him that he is the best in this session. He admitted that Zian was very good. But he thinks he himself is even better. Then you're ready, here you come. Hu Honghu roared. Immediately. Then they launched an attack on the brilliance. And Zian. The moment the opponent takes action, he entered the state instantly. Since you want to win, then you have to win simply and win the other party's heart and soul. In this way. Only then can you be willing to join the Shenzhou Academy and join your own evolution division. As for whether Li Taoxing will finally fulfill his promise, Zian actually didn't care at all. If it can be fulfilled, that is the best. Shenzhou Academy, and even its own evolution division, have added a super strong person. Not honored, that's pretty simple too. Spread their broken promises across the web. As long as they can afford to throw this person away, Zian doesn't care. Having too many of them is good, but not having too many of them will have no effect. Thinking like this, Zian. A full-scale attack began. The third-tier frigate-level brilliance is terrifying. Especially with Zian driving. Just like when 2 people use the same rifle. One of them can easily kill you. A meaning. Therefore, Zian doesn't care at all about the quality of Hu Honghu's starship. As soon as it came up, it was the most ferocious blow. The attack method is also very simple. Didn't this Hu Honghu destroy the starships of these people in our Starship Academy to 80% battle damage? Then I will beat you to 90%. Immediately. With full force. With Zian firing on all cylinders. Any enemy of Zian Only then did he realize how terrifying Zian was at this moment. Hu Honghu's attacks either failed or were detonated in the air by the Brilliance's anti-aircraft guns. And Zian's brilliant account. There are 2 main guns, each with 2 secondary guns, shoot simultaneously. The superpower of the main gun directly punched a hole in the energy shield of Hu Honghu's starship. The secondary battery followed closely, destroying its engines, weapon systems, etc. All of these. It's less than 10 seconds. Brilliant number, rich and healthy. Hu Honghu's was severely damaged. And Zian is still continuing. The huge brilliance is more flexible than the reconnaissance ship. Suddenly left and right. Shell after shell destroyed Hu Honghu's starship. Almost 10 seconds passed. Stop. Admit defeat. We admit defeat. Li Taoxing's voice was trembling with a hint of disbelief. Perhaps. Until Hu Honghu's starship was damaged to 80%. He suddenly woke up. Now look at Hu Honghu's starship. It was only 20 seconds before and after. It almost turned into a pile of scrap metal. The main battery, secondary battery, and anti-aircraft guns were all destroyed. The engines and pulse engines were all blown up. The armor was beaten with holes one after another. The energy shield, under the indiscriminate bombardment of the brilliant pink perfect quality shells. It had no resistance and was easily destroyed. That is to say, Hu Honghu's starship, starships that have defeated countless geniuses. The starships that suppressed 8 institutions of higher learning. In just 20 seconds. By Zian. Beaten into a pile of scrap metal. Can't move, attack, dodge, or defend. Hu Honghu. Already 10 seconds ago. The person was already standing there, blankly motionless. His slightly simple brain. Obviously, he couldn't understand why his fierce firepower didn't even touch Zian's energy shield. No matter how you defend or evade. Zian's cannonballs seemed to have eyes. One after another, they all hit him. He was at a loss. Everything before my eyes. It seemed beyond his comprehension. So he stood there dumbly, motionless, and allowed Zian to attack for the last 10 seconds. Even Hu Honghu himself was stunned. Not to mention the people around me. One by one. Everyone looked on in confusion. They know Zian is awesome. But. Seriously. I still feel somewhat unconfident in my heart. Because Hu Honghu's past record is really awesome, and whether he wants to admit it or not. Hu Honghu is very awesome. I even thought that the battle between the two might be evenly matched. I didn't expect it anyway, fighting. It would end in such a way. Evenly matched? Isn't it as simple as taking a weapon and hitting a defenseless child? The gap between the two sides. They are no longer on the same level. Gap. Too big. It has reached an unimaginable level. Around. Deadly quiet. On the contrary, it was the 3 girls, Fox Chi-Chi, Miao Xiaomi, and Tai Mei. But it was a matter of course. What are you asking? It's very simple. Let's not talk about Zian's Star Wars strength. Simply speaking, the Brilliance is already a Tier 3 frigate. You can't imagine how powerful the current Brilliant account is. 100% overall pink perfect quality. The kind that activates the overall characteristics. The characteristics of pink's perfect quality are due to 4 factors. And the increase or decrease has reached 25%. Or the overall characteristics. What are overall characteristics? For example, one of the overall characteristics of Kwakanho, the overall defense of the entire ship is increased by 25%. And what does this overall ship-wide defense mean? It means it ranges from energy shields, armor, ship hulls, and keels. From the wiring inside to the star crystal optical brain. Its defense has been increased by 25%. This is the overall feature. It is equivalent to, for example, The armor of the brilliance is now of perfect quality. Then there are 425% features. 800, then the overall properties are activated. It is equivalent to adding 4 more characteristics to the original 4 characteristics of armor. There are 8 features in total. The overall characteristics are awesome. It is also the overall characteristic why it is so difficult to activate, but once activated, I will never change it easily. Even if you can evolve 1 or 2 parts to purple unparalleled quality. But losing the 4 overall characteristics is definitely a loss. Less than 10 purple unparalleled qualities. It's better to keep the current situation as it is. Of course, just such a metaphor. Zian, there is no way to evolve the brilliant number to the purple unparalleled quality now. He doesn't have that ability yet. Unless his evolutionist level reaches the 2nd level certified by the Evolution Association. Only then will the next stage of evolutionary simulation begin. Purple unparalleled quality, and evolution simulation of assault ships. That's it. But it won't take more than a few days. Because the day after tomorrow. It's the day when the Young Evolver competition arena begins. Any competition that takes place in the arena, it will all be calculated into your real record. And Zian also took advantage of this group competition. See if you can evolve to the 2nd level evolution master. As for the 3rd grade, forget it. 3rd grade. Too difficult. When he couldn't evolve a destroyer. Don't even think about the 3rd level. And the peak of the 3rd grade evolution master. It is possible to evolve cruisers. Battleship. It is exclusive to 4th level evolution masters. Now, Zian is probably at the middle to lower stage of the 2nd grade evolution master. Of course, that's only when it comes to evolving starships. If you count the quality. Within the 2nd grade. I am invincible. Moreover, it is the kind that is open to the entire universe. Not just an Earth Federation. That's how confident. Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.